All right, thank you. Thanks for hanging out for the podcast. This week, of course, my guest is Mr. Nick Armstrong.
Thank you so much.
They are a mighty crowd.
They are.
So how long have I known you, Nick? Maybe 12, 14 years?
I started at IO West in 2001, and you were my level 5 teacher, so 2001.
14 years.
Yeah, 14 years. Oh, shit. Jeez, that's a long time.
That's a long time to know someone.
It is.
I was going to say, there was a thing I remembered, you and Brian did a show that was basically like Khaki versus Miles, right?
Yes.
Because Brian O'Connell is clearly an acolyte of mine, and you were taking on the role of an acolyte of Craig Kukowski's. And I always thought that was funny. Why are you laughing at that?
It was awful because it was great because Brian and I were like, let's do this show because you're really Miles style and you're really Khaki style, and let's bring it together. We promoted it as like Miles and Khaki, and people actually thought it was Craig and Miles, and it got packed. And I think when we came out there, they were like, oh, what the hell is this crap? You guys were there, I think, right?
Yeah. Well, we were.
You should have just got up and played. But we did it, and it was fun. And I think some people were disappointed, and other people had a fun time. We were really young in our improv careers, too, at that point. So.
No, that was fun, though. But I always thought was fun and odd about it, because I know that we go about it differently. Like, all improvisers go about it differently. Mm-hmm. But like, what would you say is like although things have changed because they always do, but what would you say at that point anyway that you saw as like the defining difference between like say my style or Khaki's style?
Well, I mean, you have a very, I feel, mathematical way about going to improv, and I don't think it's a bad thing. Actually, this is one of the things I loved about your level 5 class. Position play, I think, is kind of in a way. And Khaki has more of a, he's beyond his crazy specifics and knowledge of every crazy thing in the world, but
yeah, he knows the backside of every 45 that's ever been printed.
It's nuts. You go on a road trip with them, and it's like here's my list of 500 songs in order of what I like.
He must be so pissed that
you can't put another CD in.
Well, that the phone exists now, so it's like we don't need you anymore, man.
Yeah,
I can just look up what's on the backside of the town dog.
But yeah, I would say he's more loose in that sense of playing more emotional stuff, I guess. And not like you don't, but I just think like you play that more math where he doesn't play it as much. In that sense, yeah.
That's interesting because I assume you studied with Khaki as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was level 6, and then he taught me the JTS for 3 years after that.
I'm thinking a lot of like what you're saying, because I don't know, I never had Khaki, but I'm guessing you're getting a lot of that from his teaching, how he teaches it.
Yes, exactly. I mean, he definitely has a way of teaching and identifying things and where to take it and stuff like that. But, before he taught me the Herald, he taught me the JTS Brown, which is kind of like an interesting place to start,
right?
So my improv training went a little backwards to something very advanced, back to something very basic as a Herald. So he very much taught me about the theatricality of improv, the theater, of it, the art of it, where anything can happen, the transforming and kind of all that kind of artsy improv stuff of it.
It's like that's something that Dell very much wanted. Mm-hmm. Was it for improv to be more theatrical, more artsy? I think that's where probably at least some of that comes from. Mm-hmm. I know Mick Napier did a lot of work in Chicago too, with the editing in the main stage shows at Second City, as far as trying to bring more of a theatricality to the sketch shows there. I always think it's because I am very mathematical in the way I analyze it.
Yeah.
But I also tend to think, although it depends on when in my life you're talking about.
14 years ago.
14 years ago.
When you taught me.
No, yeah, because I can see there was a bit of anger going on.
Well, you would always say, and I always teach my student, like if you want to explore someone's behavior, where it comes from, you know, you take them to, to their place of work, their place of faith in their home or something like that.
No,
What's exactly what you say? I'm sorry, it's been 14 years.
It's been 14 years. Well, of course, my lessons have changed as well. But, now I would say if you want to explain anyone on the planet, it's two things. How are they raised? What events shaped them?
Yeah.
That's it. That explains all of us.
The new Miles.
No, but because
but I mean, you had a way of explaining it very well that I really connected to. That was very easy for me to understand. And you know, when I'm learning this, you know, it was nice to go, oh, okay. And that was where it was leading to. How do they behave? How did their parents give this behavior? How do they become this way? What happens as a result of their behavior?
Right.
And that's explore, you know, so that's kind of all came from that.
It's just, it's always interesting to me to I have students. I was saying, I think on last week's podcast, like I can say, like I'll drop a different name, so I'm not always dropping her name. But like I taught khaki,
yeah,
right. But khaki I taught in the first improv class I ever taught. So I mean, there were some very good people in that room. And I remember, like, I was definitely headed in the direction I was going to go, but I would say things, and this is back then, I would say things like, that was a bad move. And back then, especially back then, you could not say something was a bad move. There were no bad moves. Everything's just an opportunity. And I always took issue with that. Like, if there are no bad moves, and what are bad shows made up of? Just all great moves. So yeah, there's bad moves, but the thing back then was I knew it was a bad move, but I didn't know why. I just knew it, but I couldn't say why. So that note actually became kind of useless.
Yeah.
So khaki and guys of that time had to struggle through, me struggling through
your
learning how to say what it is I knew.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I like to bring, I see it as like mathematical in the sense that the way I analyze it, the way I look at it, the way I try and explain it in a way that makes sense. But then it's always, the last rule is, all right, you walk on stage and you chuck all that.
Yeah.
Because now it's in your head or it's not. So now just listen, react, have fun.
And you brought up something interesting. I'm going to interview you now, Miles.
Right.
But you brought up something interesting. Like, you've changed over the years as a teacher. And, like, I feel like that's a great, like, you have to kind of evolve with, I don't know if you just get better with maturity of what it is, or you just watch so much of it and see it. But, like, I just think I feel myself doing, like, obviously from the first time I coached, I had, you know, you don't have any idea what you're doing, really. You're like just taking your improv chops and trying to translate it, and you don't know how to say it right. And then eventually you get that language, but you evolved over the course of how many years have you been teaching? Like,
I've been teaching for about 22, 23 years.
Yeah. I mean, how do you think your curve of change has come?
It's still going. I was,
yeah.
I mean, I see it as a sort of, I was explaining this or talking about this with Paul Valancourt when he was on about how it felt like I was building outward. And I'm using a hand gesture to describe. Yeah. I was like, it was like an expanding outward for a long time where things got more complex. There were more levels of understanding. There were more things that my brain became capable of doing. And then that sort of reached a semi-critical mass. And then it started reversing itself, where it took all that complexity and started making it simpler and simpler and simpler. And that was when the teaching really got better, was because then it was more easy to convey. And then it was less about how complex I could make it, more about how simple can I make this.
Yeah, that's actually exactly what's going through my head. I feel like at first I was overcomplicating the teaching. And as I keep doing it, it's getting more simple, just like an improv should, I guess, be in a sense.
It's like I think any teacher or coach, when they first start, there's part of their self that probably is saying, what do I know? I mean, it's comedy. How do you tell someone else how to be funny, or how to do this, how to make shit up? And you're more worried about what you know than you're worried about what you can give the person in front of you, who doesn't know that, you know, that stage right.
Yeah. Those poor teams that get that first coach, they don't have any idea. You're like sweating underneath your shirt, but they have no idea. You're really trying to be like, tell them what to do.
I think that goes on a lot, in coaching and in teaching. Yeah. I think because I think in a lot of schools, you have basically good players who are new teachers. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, that's different. It's a different thing. I was real good by the time I started teaching, and I was just terrible teacher for years. I mean, I was solid enough, whatever. But I was like, no, I was complicated. I had like these 6-step processes that you had to go through before you responded to a line of dialogue, which was actually, it was accurate as far as like, yeah, that is what my brain did, but it doesn't do that on stage. All of that's built in, so my brain just does that, and I answer the question immediately. But then I was trying to figure out how to tell someone else what's going on. Because it's hard, because it's so easy for a good player to just say, well, just do stuff. That's all you got to do. You do stuff. You pretend. Yeah. You make up stuff. You have fun. You can stand there and do nothing for 30 minutes with that advice.
I have a story. When you coached, you subbed for me in the Night Terrors, which is our JTS Brown team, once. And I think, honestly, you were just in the bar, and we were like, hey, Bertrando was coaching us because Craig had left at that point. We're like, Bertrando couldn't show up. Would you mind coming and coaching us? This is so true. So, because, yeah, let's go. And so you walked back. We went up to the loft, and you're like, we're going to start with an opening. And we're like, okay, great. Because at that point, we were trying to expand. We'd kind of done the JTS for 3 years, and we were kind of just doing other stuff. It was towards the end of our team. And so, like, you're like, all right, just get up. All right, and go. Just no suggestion. Go. Stop. Do it again. Okay, go. And you go, stop. No. And then you go, like,
no.
And I swear, for 2 hours, all we did was that one opening.
Right?
And it was like a mind, like I was like feeling a knife being drilled into my head. But we were being like, you were very trying to discipline us to make a strong choice is what you were trying to do. I see it now, but then I was like, what is happening?
Right.
And then we just pulled you out of the bar. That was kind of rude of us to do. But
that's all that was from the moment I left the bar was like, these fuckers are doing an opening for 2 hours.
You were so mad. You were like, God damn it. How can I say no to this darling cherub? That's what you were really thinking. Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, I used to do that a lot with cause stuff like openings. I think a lot of in my teaching, like when Dell died, basically I was going to take over his level 6 back in Chicago. And then I was working with people who got to level 6 and just realized you don't know what you need to know to be in this level. So basically the level 6 just becomes me teaching what was then my level 5. Because I always thought I was preparing people for Dell. It's like, you got to have some understanding of the basics of what's going on here before you step in front of this man. And so that's why eventually I was like, I found no joy in teaching level 6. I'm like, I can't work with you because you don't know what you need to know through me. I think I think that's true in a general sense. I think the best thing that I do when I teach is that I can see where someone is in their process and see where what they might need to know or work on next. Or I think actually Noah was a better fit for level 6 in Chicago because he was more of a formally. I mean, he would think in larger forms, and he was more knowledgeable. I think of the process in its whole. But I remember that I was like, I can't fucking teach this because you need to know this other shit first. It's funny because here I teach the last 2 levels.
Yeah.
No, but I've got Brian teaching the stuff.
So he's prepping them for you.
He's basically teaching the stuff that I want them to know before they get to me, because part of me that's like, no, you should get me at level 2 because you need to know this shit.
You need to know it.
You gave me a sweatshirt when you got here, which is very nice,
yes.
From Camp Improv Utopia.
Yes.
I love the idea that to go ahead and talk about that, because I want to say something about it, but I want to have you plug the hell out of it.
Brian's, been involved with me since the beginning. We are an improv camp for adults out here in California and in Pennsylvania now. And Yosemite, we have one coming out too. So we have 3 altogether. And it's just a place. It's I grew up as a Boy Scout, and so up in California. So I've always been a big fan of outdoors and nature and all that stuff. And I love improv, obviously. And so I combined the two, and with the help of Brian, Jessica, and John Abbott, we kind of got together and rented a summer camp. And you basically do improv, where we hire teachers, and but it's not all about just the teaching. It's about, camaraderie, the community. But you also do like axe throwing and archery and canoeing and stuff like that. And that's a big part of it. So it's equal amounts improv and like nature stuff.
Like a camp, like an honest
like
to God
like
camp.
an actual summer camp. You're sleeping in bunk beds and cabins with 10 other people from around the world, and you're meeting people from all over the place and seeing how they do it and stuff like that.
It fills up.
Yeah, it fills up.
It kills. I mean, you have one on the East Coast now too.
Yeah, one in Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Yeah, I just love the idea of that, because to me, I've said it for years, but always, only, more tongue in cheek than not, I suppose. But improv will heal the world. Was the idea? It's like, why do you improvise? To heal the world. Just because there's no real good answer to that fucking question. So I just said to heal the world. But I see something like that, because I can imagine just like, this sort of thing, like people just having improv being part of their lives, part of their day to day. Like, it's a camp, so we're doing this, but we're also improvising. We're also connecting at this level.
Yeah,
it's like I can just see that as another step toward it's spreading even more so across society. Because I really do think it's going to have a profound. Because it was fun, because last week Heather was on and she asked me, what's the future of improv as far as it becoming a viable source of income?
sure.
I was like, that's an ugly question to ask an improviser in my particular status. And to me, it's like I was thinking about that all week, like, and I don't know that it will ever become. I think it will always have a value in what you turn it into, but I think the study of it will become universal. I think it's too beautiful not to.
Yeah. I also founded a site called the National Improv Network, which brings all the improvisers. You can sign up. It's free. It's like Facebook, but for improvisers. You submit to festivals we've been to a bunch together, actually, in the earlier days. But I see it as like just doing these camps and doing this stuff. It's there's an improv theater, when we started, just let's say 14 years ago when we first met, maybe 10 theaters in Canada and the United States, maybe altogether.
Yeah, I don't know.
But maybe.
Less than that.
I mean, but we're talking now listed on the site, 110 theaters.
Yeah.
And that's not all of them.
Oh, there's probably more than that.
There's more than that. I mean, in
I go
every
back
state.
To 2
yeah.
in Chicago.
A
couple miles apart.
And, here now, even your theater, it's but like, but it's just crazy. In festivals, when again, I think we went to the Phoenix Improv Festival a long time ago together, not performing, but
right.
And at that time maybe 5 festivals. Now worldwide, there's like 150,
now everyone's got a
200,
festival.
and there's like 3 in each city. You
Yeah.
know? It's like crazy. IO alone has like 7 festivals.
Oh yeah, I was trying to remember off the top of my head how many effing improv festivals are there just in Los Angeles.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's nuts. I mean, it's like you said, it's expanding, and I see not just you and I who love to do it and love the art of it and things like that, but 9 to 5ers that just after they go to work, this is their decompress. This is their hobby almost too. And some of them go to the next level, but some of them don't mind just like having a place to be with family.
All right. That's what I was thinking about, like with you starting something like Camp Improv Utopia. I was just like, you don't start that because you're looking for fame, because you're looking to get rich. You start that because you love the hell out of what you're doing.
Yeah. We don't do it for the money.
I would
No, we're a nonprofit, so our profits go back to the improv community. We build stages for theaters and help them build, and that's always like me, Brian, Jessica, and John. That's always been.
I'm actually also a nonprofit, just not in any sort of governmental way.
Yes. Well, I guess all improv's nonprofit.
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
This is a non-profit theater. Or it's just a no-profit. This is a no-profit. All right. Do we have any questions for Nick?
Question.
Yes, sir.
You'd mentioned you started off with this really advanced form, and I couldn't quite hear what it was.
The J.T. Brown. Oh, gosh. That's so hard to explain. Craig explains it as more of a philosophy of play rather than a form, because it really doesn't have a form to it. But it involves transformational edits, morphing into other people and playing their parts, but literally morphing into their bodies. There's short form kind of gamey moves inside of it. So there's like a Hemingway, which at any point, if Miles and I are doing a scene, someone either off stage can go, I'd go like, you look great. He lied. Someone says like implying it's a book. Right. And gives me my real motivation. Or I can say it myself. I can turn to the audience and be like, you look so great. I lied, or something like that. And then Miles would pick it up and start doing the Hemingway as well. And then there's a bunch of moves in that. And it's just almost to enhance, the characters and things, just like any sort of move. You didn't do all the moves every show. It was just when necessary. It was, but yeah, it's a crazy theatrical, making sounds. The theater wasn't just the stage. You can have scenes up in a balcony, on the in the audience or whatever. That scene would fade out and the scene would come up. It was seamless and no edits at all. No sweep edits. They all had to be transformations.
Would it be accurate for me to say that it's one of the effects of it in playing in it? It sort of forces the group mind.
Yes.
Like you all have to be of one mind.
Yes.
Because you're all doing the same thing kind of constantly.
The reason you don't see it much is because it's really hard to do and it takes a lot of rehearsal. And, like the original JTS guys out of Chicago, I think they made it in the early 90s. TJ Jagodowski, Craig, I think Jack McBrayer was in it at the point. They had a rotating cast, Dave Pasquazi, a bunch of those guys in the early 90s started to do it. And were you ever involved in it?
Nope.
Yeah, you were too busy in the family. I
was too busy inventing pretending.
Yeah, they rehearsed for like a year before they even put it up. But they were also discovering the philosophy and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, Beck. You've done a lot of traveling and festivals. Is there one that you really loved? You mentioned the Phoenix, but there's like, if an improviser needs to go to a cool festival.
Oh yeah. I love Phoenix. It's like a second home to me. Those guys are like family. It's a great, because you play in this huge venue with like a mezzanine. It's like a real theater. You're like,
it is. I mean,
it's crazy.
It's what's the hamburger, the Herburger, whatever.
The Hamburglar,
whatever it's called.
The Herburger.
The Herburger Theater.
Yeah, it's great. And you literally edit and you're winded. You're like, oh my gosh, how far do I have to edit this damn scene?
It's a big ass stage.
But that's great, and they treat you well. They put you up. Even teams, like you have to share it, but they'll pay for your hotel and stuff. They make it as easy. And then the Detroit Improv Festival is great. Again, I always love ones that really take care of their improvisers. These guys at workshops are feeding them in between. They're always having a barbecue. They're making it as cheap as possible to get there, but you're also meeting a bunch of people. So I really like that festival a lot. I mean, I've never gone to a festival where I was like, oh my gosh, there's never been that. Usually people know what they're doing. But those would be my two. San Francisco Improv Festival too in California. Great. They have a great stage. Have you done that one?
No.
Oh, Miles.
I was never big on that circuit.
Well, I think Brian
to me, because initially it was just like, you want me to pay to go somewhere and fucking do this? You want me to pay to go to the middle of nowhere and do this, where I'm doing it in the place where it was invented for people who give a shit about it. Go fuck yourself.
But you did it. You went to Phoenix. You did workshops.
Yeah, but it was funny because actually the only time I've ever gone to any festival is because someone specifically called me up and asked me to.
Sure.
And I was like, okay, because a friend. I was like, okay, I'll go to your festival.
Oh man, that was some fun times.
Anything else?
Yeah. So you're from Sacramento, right?
Yes.
I started in Sacramento, and I was wondering what the scene was like when you were there, what kind of stuff you left behind, because I know I heard your name before I even came to LA. And then how often do you get to go back, and what are your thoughts on it now?
I grew up there, so from 0 to 18, and then I was out, and there was no improv. I mean, stand up, things like that, but there was no improv at all. Come about 6 years ago, I think there was the place called the Comedy Spot that's out there now, and I don't know them as well, but I think it's some of that went to UCB or something, started up there. But 6 years ago, 2 people came to my camp, Betsaida and Paul, and out of that became Blacktop. Now, I don't know if they were in the process of it. I don't know if it was like our camp made Blacktop. I wouldn't go that far, but like
Your camp made Blacktop.
could be. But that's when it started, roughly back then, and that's the scene there. And there could be even more. But every time I go back, I perform, and it's like my hometown. So like, if I go back for the holidays, I've already emailed them like, hey, do you got any shows going on? I'd love to jump in. It's just nice to go home and have that. We never had it growing up, and I wish I did. I was more theater because I did theater as a kid, but there was never improv. And we didn't have long form out in California, really, that I knew of until I went to I.O. I mean, the Groundlings was here.
Yeah, but that's more like Second City. That's it's improv to sketch. That's what they primarily.
But they weren't out here yet.
The Groundlings were out here.
No, the Groundlings were, but
Second City wasn't. No, but and again, Second City is primarily improv to sketch.
But Groundlings was more short, form stuff.
Yeah, it was more short forms, but it was more toward producing sketch.
Yeah. But there was nothing like that, and so it's just nice to like, I don't know, go home and have a place I can call home, and they're absolutely wonderful people too. So it's been great.
It's funny how quick it's so easy to forget how young this art form is.
I know, it's crazy.
It's like just in Los Angeles. I moved out here 14 years ago, I think.
So I was your first class. Is that what you're saying? Were you sweating
around that? But I got out here. The I.O. was in this building.
Yeah, that's right.
In this, the Complex Theater. It rented space next door, and then they got their own place up on Hollywood Boulevard. And the UCB, when they came out, they were playing out of the I.O. West, and then eventually they decided to open up their own little thing over there on Franklin, and just blow up huge.
Yep.
That's all happened in the past 8 years or so.
Yeah,
this stuff is young.
Yeah,
and that's just here. I mean, it's weird to think I go back to. I'm sure there are other things that happened around the country, but as far as I'm concerned, modern long form, as I understand it, started in Chicago in 2 theaters, the Annoyance and the I.O. And they were both in Chicago, about a mile or so apart, and now it's everywhere.
Yep. Pretty much every state. I mean, I could safely say. I mean, maybe not Wyoming, but.
Yeah, fuck Wyoming.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any other questions? No, all right.
Well,
that's fine. That's why I was thinking.
Fine.
You are definitely like one of the. You're one of the nice guys in improv. Everyone loves Nick. Everyone knows Nick, and Nick is a nice guy. And I'm one of the darker characters. In improv. Although I always find it ironic because I'm sure we've talked long ago. It's like, and I've always known that you're a really nice guy. And it's like, I've never, like, once I think you talk to me, then it's like, oh, he's not a raging asshole, or as much of a raging asshole as I thought he was. I think I'm saying that because I've had a few people on here. I'm like, wow, you're just ridiculously nice. Like, it's almost like an insult. Like, you're fucking nice, man. What's up with your niceness? But thank you so much for coming down and doing this.
Thanks.
What's going to happen now is me and Nick are going to do a set for you after we clear this table away. Hanging out for the set. All we need to get us started is discussion of anything at all.
Lazy.
What was the late thing? Ladies? Lazy.
Oh, yeah.
We're working out.
We ain't working out, man.
We are working out today.
Paul,
You came to me last night at 2 in the morning, crying your eyes out, saying, I gotta get in shape.
That was last night. I changed my mind, okay?
Well, I haven't changed my mind. You're getting in shape.
Oh, I'm just gonna get in shape in like a couple hours? Is that how it works? Because if
No.
it does, I'll do it.
No, it doesn't work like that.
Oh.
It takes years. Because we're gonna do it the right way.
Oh, yeah?
Come up here.
Why?
Come up here.
Why?
Take a look in that mirror. What do you see?
A stud? I see a stud. I don't need it.
Look beyond that stud. What do you see?
I see a fat, pathetic human being, Paul. Oh, I want to go back to the other mirror.
Grab some dumbbells. Grab some dumbbells.
Am I doing it right?
No, you're not. You're not. You're not
Help me out.
Pick a lighter dumbbell.
Okay. I thought I could do the 20s.
They're all numbered. You can't do the 20s.
All right.
You're dreaming you can do the 20s.
I'm going. I gotta go 5s.
Yeah, get down. There you go. Pick those bad boys up. Doesn't matter if they're 5s or 20s or 50s. It's where you're at right now. You're at 5s.
Yeah.
So let's work those 5s.
Okay. All right. That's a wrap.
No,
for today.
no more. Just start. You have to do that 1,000 times, basically.
1,000.
1,000.
No. My arms would fall off.
No, they wouldn't.
Yeah, they would.
No, they wouldn't. They would fall
They
off.
would. My arm fell off, Paul.
I've never seen that.
I can't believe it. You said it wouldn't, and then I get to 998, boom, right arm gone.
That should not have happened. It literally fell off. It had to come off of the shoulder. The skin had to rip.
I know.
And it had to fall off.
I know.
But I had that gunpowder, Andy. And I got it in there.
Yeah.
I sealed your wound.
You Rambo'd me.
So let's get back to it.
Okay. Mind if I sit?
No, go ahead, son. Your mother wanted me to talk to you.
Great.
I don't particularly care to.
I don't particularly care to have you talk to me.
Yeah, well, I don't want her on my ass, so we're going to talk.
Okay.
There was an incident at school.
Yes, there was.
And would you care to describe it to me?
Yeah. Well, a guy was being mean to me, so I went up and hit him with a roller skate.
That's a good move.
That's what I was saying to the principal. He didn't think so.
That's a fucking roller skate. How bad did you kill him?
No, broke his
Kill
nose.
him. You could get killed.
You could if I was a little stronger, but I just hit him and just caught his nose. But that sucker bled, Dad. Oh my gosh, it was pouring. Tissue, Dad?
No, I'm good. I'm good. My son kicked a little ass today, huh?
Yeah, I did. Oh my God.
Oh, all right. Keep it down. Keep it down.
I wanted to do more too. I saw this other bully, Tom Radman, and I went up to him and I wanted to like just beat his face in until he just was black and blue and you couldn't see who he was. It was so puffy. It was just my imagination though.
All right. That's something.
Yeah.
Let's have a beer.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Toad's having beer with Dad. Beep.
There you go. Beer from my bruiser. Yeah.
Oh man. Whoa.
was thinking maybe we, I don't know, let's get you into some sort of fighting class.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. Like karate or like taekwondo. Is that the same thing?
Yeah. Something I think is the gentleman I know, I think it'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Hey. Got the gi.
You don't need a fucking gi in this
Okay, I'll
class.
take it off. Just got sweatpants underneath these things.
You can leave your sweatpants on.
Oh, okay.
So you used your old man told me you used a roller skate on a guy.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, right in the face, right in the nose.
That's nice fucking thinking.
Yeah.
You were lucky that roller skate was available.
Yeah, well,
What happened if it's not available?
I use my fist. And I pretend
You?
Yeah.
You want to hurt your fists?
No. What do I use?
Anything else?
Just anything I can grab?
Yeah. And real piece of advice, don't let them see you coming.
Are we gonna actually do any fighting, or are you just gonna
You don't want me to fight you. 'Cause you won't see me coming. I'll wait till you tie your shoe and I'll hit you with a tire iron or something. That's how you win. I have never lost a fight using my technique.
Okay.
Alright? Basically, I start fighting before the fight.
Oh. John, I'm just gonna tie my shoe. I'll be right out in a second. Oh, Jesus! Oh, there's so much blood.
I just kicked your ass!
What?
And that's just one of my war stories.
Ow. Why'd you hit me with something, too?
I used to work for that guy.
What did he do to you?
He employed me for several years, paid me well.
So you're saying even if someone's nice, they're still getting down on you to hit them?
I can't help it when the fight is on. Alright? When someone turns their back on me, it's on.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
I know the answer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Dude,
My boy's getting the beer!
think it's your turn.
Okay.
Easy way or hard way, Duke?
The easy way, of course.
Just grab me in here. Just put this on your finger. There we go. Right. This isn't a regular polygraph test where you say yes or no. You can just answer honestly in any way, shape, or form you want to.
Why'd you strap me in?
It measures your heart. Your heart.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. All right, we're just gonna start here. Your name is Duke. Are we best friends?
Yes.
When you moved out to move in with your girlfriend Shelley, was it because you were in love with Shelley or you wanted to move out from me?
It was because I was in love with Shelley. These things don't work.
Yes, they do. Yeah, well, you're not lying, but you don't
Yes,
know.
you see?
Well, you just don't know.
I know, apparently. Look, it's true.
Calm down, your heart's racing.
Of course my heart's racing. You're upsetting me. Got me into this 2-point lie detector test.
I got it off eBay.
My fingertip and my heart rate, that's all you measure?
That's all I measured. I saw it online. I did a tutorial. fine, and get out. Just go then. Just go. Don't do my stupid thing. You never want to do my stupid things anyways. It's like, hey, remember when we wanted to do that softball league? I was like, hey, you want to play? And I'll even let you play first base.
Oh, I can't play softball. I'm not allowed.
You see? It was an explanation of one sentence, but it took you an hour to complete.
Look, I love the woman I'm moving in with.
Shelley.
Shelley
is her name.
I love Shelley. And there's nothing to do with my deep resentment of you.
So you're admitting you have resentment of me. And what did it... Well,
I despise you.
I did everything for you. I was so nice.
Hate you so. No.
What did I ever do? Here, get into bed.
What? Why? I'm trying to go to sleep.
I'm just gonna get you an extra blankie.
What?
Here it comes.
All right.
Ran on. Hey, you need a coat or something nice to go sleep in?
No.
Oh wait, I'll be in the next room if you need me.
I know where your room is. Don't get out of my room.
Roomies.
Yes. Every night. For years, you tucking me in, annoying the shit out of me. Had it. That Shelley is a horrible woman. A horrendous person of a woman. But I'm going to live with her. Because of you.
Fine. Then walk out that door.
I will.
We'll walk out that door, and you never look at me. You walk out the door, and if you
Look at you if I want to look at you. If I need to feel disgust.
just take your jacket. Put your jacket on.
All
It's
right,
cold.
it is cold outside. All right.
Let me get you some cocoa before
No!
you go.
Yes! I'm getting it! Go!
Please don't
I'm coming, you shrew! Yeah, I left him. Now we can live together.
Good. Now sit down and fuck me.
Sit down and fuck me.
Yeah, I'm lazy today, okay? I don't want to do it. I had a long day. Now sit down and take off your pants so we can get this over with. I'm horny. And you got 5 minutes.
Unbelievably, this is actually better than my last living arrangement.
Oh, it's done. I'm not even horny anymore. You ruined it.
I ruined it.
You ruined it. I'm going to bed.
Fine, Fred.
Good. God, you're a horrible person, and I'm going to snore in your face. And I'm going to turn the other way.
The sweet sounds of discourtesy.
Dreamland, he's in a dreamland, he's in a dreamland. And I'm in your dreamland. Can I get your jacket?
No!
Hot cocoa!
No, I want hot cocoa! Come here!
What's wrong with you?
Having a nightmare.
Always having a nightmare. You're a nightmare. I'm having one every minute of my life. Yeah.
Yes, I'm bothering someone.
He's in a motherfucking dreamland. Dreamland. It's your dad. Run away from it all. Get out. Your mom's gonna. Help! It's your mother! She's taking my life away! Skeleton. What are you smiling at? Wake up. I don't like when you have happy
I was
dreams.
having a happy dream. I was remembering my father for exactly what he was.
Oh, gosh. You in dreamland. Hey, motherfucking dreamland. You might get up and move around the...
You're the prettiest girl at the ball.
Thank you so much. Oh, my glass slipper. Pick it up and put it on my goddamn foot. Prince Charming. Shove it on.
It's on. Put it on.
Good. Since you're down there. Put it on my fucking foot.
I was in your dream.
Yes, you were. goddamn dreams. They can't even get you out of those. Jeez. Who is it? Oh, someone coming running back, huh?
I've made a mistake. Got my hat. Bought a hat just to have it in hand.
I don't know, someone's looking at the apartment today.
Really?
Yeah. Nobody's looking. I didn't put anything on Craigslist.
So there's still a vacancy?
Well, I don't know. Maybe. Who's asking?
My father was a horrible monster.
I know, I've heard the nightmares. You didn't know, but when you were having those nightmares, I talked you down every night.
Aw.
You just never woke up. Sometimes I thought you would never wake up. But, you know, I just pretended to be happy. Maybe chairs need to be straighter. Maybe I'll just put the table there. Do you want to live with me again?
I don't know. Chairs, straightening out the chairs again.
It's a party. I'm changing.
All right, if we can work together, I mean, you don't have to tuck me in every night. You don't have to listen to my nightmares. I mean, you don't have to come into my room at all, ever.
Okay. I promise not to always do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Good night.
Chair. You're gonna stay here forever, you son of a bitch.
What the hell was that?
I learned something new while you were gone.
Blindsided me.
Yeah, I hit you with the goddamn chair. That's all I had. Treat me like a buffoon. You think I'm just gonna come? You can crawl on your hands and knees and come on back? No.
All right. All right, I'll leave then. I'll leave.
No, stay.
Hit me with the chair. I'll do it.
I'm gonna get you an ice pack.
That feels better.
Yeah, swelling over now. Lucky they're also wood chairs, so it's not like they're not like oak or something.
All right, I can hold this. You can,
Yeah. Do you want some tea?
no, I want to. I'm going to go to sleep.
Okay.
Get out of my room.
You got it.
Part of the deal was you getting out of my room.
New guys, new roommates. All right. Hey. Good night, man.
Good night.
All right. Love you.
Help! 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 I'm having a bad
Hey,
dream.
wake up!
Oh, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm
in
sorry.
here?
I'm sorry. I'll go.
I don't need
I
you
just.
in here.
I'm sorry. I brought some other tray of hot cocoa.
All right, just leave that there and
Okay.
be on your way.
All right.
I'm a full-grown man. I can take care of myself.
2 marshmallows.
Hey, I don't care. It's just
Okay. Hey, good night. Love you.
Good night. Good night.
I'm sorry. you some toast with jam.
No one likes toast with jam.
You do.
Get out of here.
Sorry, okay.
Let me go to sleep.
Not always. Not always. Not always. He's back. The arsenic should be kicking in just about now. Hush, little Remy, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you 5 years, 10 years, 20 years.